I'm sitting in the living room of my mother's house that she died April of this year. I had a call from Rick that morning that was a pocket call, and he had it on speakerphone, and I could hear him arguing with the cashier that he was a caregiver and therefore should get a free meal, and she was not convinced.
They need to know on this record that it was bad medical care that could contribute significantly to my mom's death.
When I got a call about half an hour later from the manager for the caregiving company that took care of my mother, I thought Rick's created an incident rather than he was calling to tell me that my mother had passed away that morning.
Every chance I got, I was trying to get her to eat. The trust company said I was pestering her to get her to eat. I've got 600 pages of stuff from the hospital. Every fourth page it said she was malnourished.
He and my mother had a very angry relationship, but neither one of them could kind of break away from it. I was actually concerned that when she died that he was going to completely fall apart because she was his only social contact.
One time the caregiver service called the cops on me because I was, trying to get her to eat or trying to, try to get her to remember something,
Rick's relationship with my mother was more angry. And once she began showing signs of dementia, he became very protective of her.
Maybe I had something to do with that. I kept talking to her, getting her to eat, getting her to remember pleasant stuff. She loved to talk about her mother. Get her to talk about her mother. Her mother, she thought, was the smartest person in the world. Or I'd show pictures of cats. And that's really criminal, right? To show pictures of cats or Christmas cats, something like that.
That one of her friends said that she was being fed from plates of rotting food covered with flies, and I'm sure Rick did what he could, but he just had pretty limited capabilities.
We found that she didn't know what town she was in. I kept telling her it many, many times, and finally she got the town, state, and 9-digit zip code straight.
He would give her these things he called his memory drills, where he would ask her the same question again and again and again until she got it right or was close. And he claimed that this was restoring her memory.
Well, you can do memory retrieval stuff. I tend to be the absent-minded professor. I'd forget small stuff a lot. So, I can usually, if I drop my keys, I usually retrace my steps and find them.
But I think he refused to recognize that she had a degenerative disease and she was not going to get better, and that the dementia would not kill her, but that her systems would begin to shut down.
Okay, well, they treated amnesia differently a long time ago. They had a lot of it after World War I because it had a combination of chemical weapons, poison gas, and head trauma. So they would talk to people for a long time.
In fact, I think that was one of the things that my mother was afraid of, pushing him too far for fear that he might go and do something.
The caregivers, hired by the trust company and her legal guardian, would hassle me if I tried to sweet talk her to eat more.
He's convinced that she was poisoned by somebody for some reason.
This next thing I'll show you is about how some of this comfort care is actually just euthanasia.
The caregivers could lock the door so that Rick couldn't come up at night, because he would take his food, he would keep it here, and he would eat in the laundry room. On the other side of the door, you can see some of the rules that he was supposed to follow. This is the basement of my mother's house. There's a room here which he used as an office. He always slept on this bed. But there would be bowls, like big soup bowls full of cigarette butts. And I said, Rick, why are you saving these things? And he said, well, I lost a dental implant and it might be in one of those. These are the foods that I would make. Date on this is 8/26, and I did not cook anything this past August because she'd already gone. So this is from last year. He's also got 3 or 4 storage units one of which he has filled with bags of trash.
Yeah, some of the stuff I want to keep. You saw alcohol, drug-related blackouts.
And the house became more and more cluttered, filthy, filled with trash.
They wanted to clear out the house before they'd consider selling it to me, so we're just going to go to court or something like that.
We tried a couple of different ways to divide things up, and he refused to cooperate with any of them.
Yeah, it was full of memories. Memories of childhood. I think of being a little baby and crawling around that bed. I think of all these drawers.
We're here today because we're having an auction. That it's been impossible to divide anything, to get things out of the house, to have him make a decision about anything. So we finally decided just to do a public auction. And the house needs to be emptied so that the house can be sold. Rick may be the one who buys it, but maybe not. The idea of my mother's personal property being spread out on her lawn with a bunch of strangers pawing through it was not high on my list of a solution, but it was the only one. So I don't know what's going to happen. I just would like to think that he's going to be okay. But I just want this wrapped up. I want this done.
It gets moved back into the house. Does that sound stupid to you? It gets moved back into the house. We store it. We put it back in the house. Is that stupid or is that stupid?
$40 there, 30, 40, 40 here, but you get 40, 50, now 60, 60, 70, 70 here, but you get 70, 80 here, but you get 80, 90 there, now 100, 110 there, 110, 110, now 20, 20, 120, now 30 here, 130, 130, but you get 30 there, 130 here, 120, 130, 120, 130 here, but you get 30, 120, 130 there, 120, 130, 120 down front, now 30 here, but you get 40, 130, 140, now 50, 150, but you get 50, 140, 150, 140, 150 here, 50 there, 140, 150. Sold it to $140 to number 40. Five here, but you get 5 there.
These
two,
books right here.
Any books there, any box right there. Any one box, 5 there, unit 2.5, 5. 12 and a half, now 15 here, but you get 15, 17 and a half, 20, 2 and a half, now 5 here, 25, and now 7 and a half, now 30 here, but you get 30 here, but you get 30, 35 there, 5 there, 5, 32, 50, now 5 here, 5, 32, 55, sold at 32, 50, number 40, 55, now 80 here, but you get 80, $80 there, 75, 80, 75, $80 here, but you get 80 there, 75 and here, 80 there, 75 and 80 here, but you get 80 there, 80, sold it 75 here, that'd be 40. 80 there, 180. Sold it to you 170 here to number 40. Number 40.
I can't afford these things. This is crazy. No, I don't know who these people are, but they clearly have a... They're going back and forth, so I'm not sure if they're related or what's going on.
Here, but you get 15 there, 15. Sold it $10 to number 40. $20 here, but you get 20 there, 20. Sold it 17 and a half, and that'd be number 40. Sold it 7 and a half, and that'd be number 40. Number 40. Now 80, now 90, now 120. 125 here, but you get 125. We got 100, 125. 110 here, but you get 10 there, 110. 120, 130 here, but you get 30 here, but you get 130. 120, 130, but you get 30. 50 here, 22, 50. Sold it to you $20 to number 40. Number 40. Sold it $10, that's number 40. Number 40. Sold it 6 here, that'd be number 40. Number 40. Two there, 1, 2. $2 here, but you get 2 there, 1 and 2. 1 and 2 there, 1, 2 here, but you get 2. Sold it to you, $1 bill, and your number is
number 40.
40. Number 40. That's number 40. Number 40. All right, there we go. Hey, gonna buy the $10. $10 there, $7.50 here, 10. Now 2 here, but you get $2 there, 1, 2. $2 here, but you get 2 here, but you get 1, 2. Sold the $1 bill, and that was number 40. Number now 90 here, but you get 90. Now 5 here, but you get 95 and 100. Out 100 here, now 10 here, 100 here, but you get 1 there, 90 and 100. Sold it to you $90 there, the number 40. Number 40.
Broken bookends for $100 or whatever it was, $60 to $100. Man, that's crazy. They were broke. It's not worth it.
Crazy prices.
Because family members are outbidding each other and not giving anybody else a chance. They should have just split it up privately and been done with it.
40. Sold it $30 to number 40. Sold it to you $25 to number 40. Sold it $1 bill to number 40, number 40. 40 there, 30, 40 there, 30, 40. Sold it to you, 30 here to number 40, number 40. Sold it to you, $3 to number 40. Sold it to you, 50, number 40, number 40. 15, 20, $20 here, but it got 20 here, but it got 20 there, 7.5 to 40, number 40. Sold it $3 to number 40. 82, sold it $1 bill to 40, number 45. Sold it to you, $40, and that'd be number 40.
It's taken a long time to get to this point. There's been some really emotionally wrenching things, but I just want this to be done. The stuff that he's buying is going to go back into this house, and it's going to become fossilized. It's just going to sit there. There will be more things that will be piled on top of it, and it'll just, start to resemble an archaeological site pretty soon.
Sold it $1 bill, and that'd be 40, 30, $30 here, 25, 30. Sold it to you, 25 to number 40.
How much we charge you? That lamp's got here too. That was your friend?
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
That's like 76 rolls out.